Hello everybody and welcome back to Red Eagle Politics. Make sure you guys like this video down below and subscribe to the channel if you are new. So, a recent poll came out this week out of the state of Michigan which shows that Donald Trump and Joe Biden are neck and neck in the polls once again. We're approximately 15 months away from the election, and the fact that it's this close kind of showcases we may be in for a very close election once again, as Michigan is a key battleground state. Now, do keep in mind, the Republican Party of the state of Michigan is in shambles, and that likely is going to cause issues for turnout if they cannot get their act together. Although if Donald Trump and the RNC build a larger national apparatus, they may be able to overcome it. Michigan is not a foregone conclusion for Biden in 2024. However, states that could be, tilt to lean Biden, Trump may be getting some help in. And this is true. Not only does Trump clear the primary field against DeSantis and a lot of other people in this race, he also is tied in the general. And when you add these third-party candidates to the ballot, you add the No Labels Party, which are like going to be these radical centrist type people. A lot of them are backing Sinema for another Senate bid in the state of Arizona. On top of that, Cornel West, he is a far-left activist for the Green Party. He is well known. He says he despises both Trump and Biden. He's in this race, and he likely will get the Green Party nomination. In this poll, he's polling at 4%, and the No Labels are polling at 4%. And on top of that, when you add them to the ballot, what does it do? It gives Donald Trump a 2-point lead. And this is absolutely huge. So we're going to dive into this, but first, really quickly, I have to tell you guys about our very good friends over at Noble Gold, because the US dollar lost 85% of its value since the 70s when the dollar decoupled from gold. And the government seems bent on continuing this. From now until after the next elections, the government can print as much money as they want. The last time they did that, inflation went up by 9%. Gold is the one asset that's proven to withstand inflation. Invest in gold with Noble Gold Investments. You'll also get a 24-karat quarter-ounce gold standard coin for free. Go to noblegoldinvestments.com now, noblegoldinvestments.com, or simply dial 1-877-646-5347. Noble Gold, the only gold company that I trust. So back to the video. This is huge because what it shows is that when you're adding these third parties to the mix, this is not the only poll to show this. This is going to be a main example, though. It shows that people who dislike Trump and Biden may be looking to go for third parties. And when we saw that happen in 2016, we saw Trump potentially get a bump. He almost picked off states like Maine at large, New Hampshire, Minnesota, all of which voted for Biden by over 7 percentage points or so in 2020. And it could expand the map if Biden is struggling to really get those margins in several places, especially because West is likely going to take away voters who would vote for Biden. The No Labels people, those voters are going to be more like swing voters. But again, a lot of them are like these suburbanites. A lot of them may, at the end of the day, vote for Biden. But Biden is not able to be stomached as much as he formerly was. This is true. An average of the multiple recent polls on 538 puts Biden's approval at 41.2%. That is lower than Hillary Clinton's favorables back in the 2016 election. For all the people out there, including many people on the right that sit on their high horse and say, oh, well, Trump only won because Hillary was the most unpopular and worst candidate in history. That's not true. That's not true. Her favorables were higher than Trump's favorables by 4%, and they're higher than Biden's right now, but Trump still ran the table with a lot of those voters that despised both of them in the right states, and part of that was the third-party support taking away. And if that happens again, Trump could very well go out there and beat Joe Biden, despite a lot of his legal drama, these troubles, all of which is nonsense that they're trying to throw his way because they can't beat him. And they're probably going to try to do everything in their power to get these third-party candidates off the ballot, but I don't believe that they're really going to be successful because there have been a lot of efforts to really ramp up the support and funding of these candidates. They're doing decently well in polls to the point where, yeah, I do believe that they will get on the ballot at the end of the day and possibly get, 5 percentage points or so for the national popular vote. And that would be enough to turn the third party key in the 13 keys for Biden, which is not something good, which again, I don't really buy that key because it really depends on the election. One time you might have a third party candidate that takes away from one side or another. Either way, doesn't exactly matter. The bottom line is they do tend to be hurting Biden in the here and now. And Trump is not the most popular figure right now nationally. He polls at around, 38 to 42%, depending on the day. And this is in terms of his favorable rating. Now, he's under attack by a lot of people on the right, and this is true. And you saw this when the party was really united in support behind him about a year and a half ago before they tried to astroturf all these other establishment-friendly candidates to take the bait and run against Trump. Trump's favorables were in the mid-40s, and a lot of his unfavorables right now are soft disapproval ratings from a lot of these Republicans that voted for him twice. Biden, on the other hand, while some of his disapproval is soft disapproval, he doesn't exactly have that luxury. And this is true. Trump, after he wins the primary, unites the party, etc., those favorables should be back to kind of where they were before the 2020 election. And his personal favorables have never really been, sky high. Even back in 2019, when a lot of people saw him as like the favorite to win the 2020 election before COVID hit, he was still around 42%. And he was also there, about 2 months, 3 months ago or so. So you look at the big picture here, and it kind of showcases that Trump can win, Biden can lose, and these third-party candidates definitely could be taking votes away from Joe Biden, which is a very good thing. Now, meanwhile, in this poll, from what we see here, they also show the Senate race there. Republicans are really struggling to find a candidate in Michigan. We'll see what happens if they do. But still, Alyssa Slotkin in the polls is only polling in the low to mid-40s. Again, if Donald Trump takes the state of Michigan, honestly, conventional knowledge would showcase that if you find a halfway decent candidate, he probably will outperform Trump by a couple of points or so in the suburbs. And that may be enough to put a Republican senator in Michigan, which would expand the map. And I think having these third-party candidates on the ballot, it kind of allows people down ballot to kind of vote potentially Republican if they wouldn't be voting Republican at the top of the ticket, which can increase that, the down ballot support for Republicans. So they're able to hold House seats because of this. They're able to hold Senate seats. They're able to flip Senate seats in some cases, and it does expand the map. I'm not saying Michigan's guaranteed to go red, even if you have these third-party candidates involved. But does it expand the map a little bit? Yeah, because the odds of winning Michigan are increased significantly. And the odds of winning a state like Wisconsin might be in the bag at that point, especially if these third-party candidates lean left. And that seems to be what they're doing. I mean, the Libertarians aren't really running anybody spectacular, and depending on who they run, they might run somebody that could take votes away from Biden too. So on top of that, you have these third-party candidates, and you have Wisconsin. You look at Arizona. That's another one, especially with Sinema, the no labels if Manchin runs. Because a lot of people don't understand, Joe Manchin very well could end up running for president because he says that he's not running for anything that he knows he's going to lose or knows that he has to have a stake in a fight. And that's why, he may not run for Senate because he's going to get trounced, but he might get the nomination for no labels and kind of be this wedge character and probably take some votes away from Joe Biden in the process. And as a result, what will happen then is you have a prominent senator running for president as a third party. That's not a good thing from the president's party. That's a sitting senator, by the way, maybe an outgoing senator for sure. Either way, if he runs or not, but you're just looking at all of these candidates that are running. They're not taking votes away from Trump. Who's running that's going to take votes away from Trump? If you run like a libertarian candidate that's like super anti-establishment, maybe they could, take a point or two away. But still, as of right now, I don't really see that happening. And as a result, it seems like Trump has the upper hand regarding the third parties, whether he really wins or not. If he wins, he may win because of them. He may also win despite them regardless. He might outperform. He might win by enough to the point where they don't matter. Or, on the other hand, even if he goes down, he might go down despite them being on the ballot because they still would be helping him regardless. So either way, it's interesting to see what happens when you factor in all these things. You have Manchin, you have possibly, obviously we do know Cornel West is going to be the Green Party candidate. I don't know who else could be a mainline candidate that's going to be on the ballot in all 50 states, but we got to fight like hell to get these candidates on the ballot because they help Trump at the end of the day, and they hurt Joe Biden, whose approval rating, like I said, is in the gutter, despite the fact that he's claiming that he's doing everything possible to save the economy. A lot of people aren't really feeling it, and in a high turnout election like the election we're about to see in 2024, Donald Trump may have the upper hand. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video. Like this video down below, comment down below, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications so you never miss another video. Follow me on social media. The links are all in the description down below. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Red Eagle, out.